I'm Paul Coleman, considered a master barber. I own a shop called The Experience Grooming Salon, which is in Scarborough. Had it for the last 7 years now. Prior to that, I used to own Charisma Barbers, where it's probably got one of my bigger starts when it comes to pro athletes coming through the shop, or me going to their homes or the hotels to service them when they came into Toronto. I've been a barber for the last 31 years and done some other shows on TV also.
What got you into barbering? Was it, by design, by accident, something?
Got into barbering when I was in high school. Just something, as a child coming up, going to the barbershop with my dad. It was always, I was intrigued by it, and I always liked to see the end results, what these guys used to come up with. So kind of took it. It was almost like a joke. A friend of mine got a clipper from his mom for Christmas, and we were 15. I said, let me give you a cut. Took my time. Took me about 2 hours to cut his hair, but I wanted to make it perfect. And from that day, after I cut his hair, the next day he's like, yo, we're bringing this kid to school. And that's where it all started. I'll never forget. 1985.
All right. And then going from making a decision to be a barber to becoming a master barber, so there's some kind of process in there. Mm-hmm. And what makes somebody now considered a master barber?
Years of service, qualifications, whether it's people that you've come in contact with, like, service celebrities, or TV shows that you may have worked on, TV sets, movie sets, stuff like that. Your credentials, that's the bottom line.
How does somebody end up becoming a barber to pro athletes? And then at the time, had the Raptors started yet? And then then how did the connection to the Raptors?
I tell a lot of some of the younger guys coming up now, it's, first of all, you got to put yourself out there. Sometimes go to certain events, whatever. In my case, I didn't have to do that, but now it's different. So for me, it was, I just worked on my craft. I made sure it was the best I could. I tried to be the best I could be. And my clients are the ones that actually put the word out there. And that's how I was able to get my first, professional athlete. One of my clients brought him to me, and from there, he which is Tracey MacGrady, he put me on to so many different guys in the league, so many. And from there went to even the NHL, and some guys in the NHL, and yeah, just.
And so, in the years that the Raptors have been here, because you were already a barber before the Raptors came. Yeah. The Raptors arrive. Mm-hmm. T-Mac ends up at your doorstep to cut. Then, how many of the Raptors would you say from then on, and what was that? Is that them coming into you going to them?
Majority of the time it was me going to them. I'd take a day or two out of the week and I'd just go and service guys. Yeah, so when Tracey was here, I think Tracey got picked up in 97, I think it was 97. And that's when I started. That's when I first started. But I was cutting hair before that.
Wow. And then, so would you say consistently every year there's been Raptors that you're cutting?
Oh yeah,
every year.
Oh yeah, from '97, to be honest, all the way up until, because I really not really into that much anymore. Only like when certain guys come into town, they'll call me specifically and say, P. But all the way up until DeMar DeRozan. Wow. That's as far as
From T-Mac to DeRozan.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's incredible. Yep. So are you like a fan, or are you a fan of the sport and a fan of Toronto Raptors and basketball, and that sort of part of it really sort of kept you going with it, or is it just made business sense to like you just providing a service and you can do what it is?
Well, you know what, I live in Toronto, so I'm a fan of the Raptors.
Yeah.
I can't really say that's my team because I don't really have a team. I like individuals, players, but it was me. It was all about building relationships with these guys, and business. I kept it business, and that's how I end up, building a relationship with them. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? They respected what I did. Off the record, off time, then we're cool. We can hang out or whatever. But they respected me as a business person. Always loved ball. Never played high school ball, but I played high school football and went on to the U.S. But ball was my second love.
Yeah.
But I was more focused on football. That was my thing.
Okay. So 2 more questions before is like what's next? Like you're saying that you don't do it as much now, so so where does one go next once you become a master barber? All the pros, you're the first call for all these pros, and you're sort of moving away from it. But what's that next?
It's all about leaving a legacy behind, and that's what I'm doing. Like my shop right now, I'm only there 1 day a week, but I've created jobs for people, and I've and it's that's what gives me pleasure. A lot of guys over the years have come through my hands that so many of them own their own shops now, and it makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? It's leaving a legacy behind to say, what, I created this, and it's not for my head to swell or for me to. It's just I want to see the younger people coming up under me, take this craft and make a career out of it.
All right. Well, then here's one that and you can obviously use your discretion how you answer it, because I'm be writing this. What's the craziest thing that happened in your shop, whether it relates to a pro or relates to somebody with a haircut, but more likely something that relates to a professional athlete, a groupie hanging out, something, somebody not wanting to leave, a kid freaking out because they see a Raptor in a chair beside them, or if they ever came in. But what's the craziest story that we could share, that you can think of? And even if you can't think of it in this moment,
I can't think of one, but I'd have to think about it. But I haven't
like a fan freaking out.
Yeah, just having those guys, Chris Bosh and all those guys coming to the shop and just hanging out on the outside waiting because the shop was full, and people are like, they're coming in like, is that Chris Bosh? Is that T-Mac? I'm like, yeah.
Okay, that's
and then people get dumbfounded. But the cool thing about it though is it's not like they would bum rush them and, oh, can I get your autograph, whatever. Everybody just sit there and just kind of look.
What up, man? It's your boy T-Mac. I need y'all to check out my boy's shop, Experienced Man's Grooming Spa. My boy P been taking care of your boy for 15 years, man. He holds it down. So y'all go check that out. It's the best to do it in TO. T-Mac, signing off.